justice to the world with his life doing fate. He's got the facts, he's got the proof. Gonna drop a truth bomb, make them all go loose. Flag free scholarship, no lies to be found. He's the hero of the internet, spreading truth all around. Here comes the fact freak, he's on the loose. Legislators with the truth, let the news surfing the web, exposing all the fakes with his bright ideas. He's gonna make the law shake. He's got a passion for animals, big and small. The fact that he loves rabbits, he screams it to all. Nobody's safe from his own life to save, bringing justice to the world with his life doing fate. He's got the facts, he's got the proof. Gonna drop a truth bomb, make them all go loose. Fact free scholarship, no lies to be found. He's the hero of the internet, spreading truth all around. Here comes the fact freak, he's on the loose. Legislators with the truth, let the news surfing the web, exposing all the fakes with his bright ideas. He's gonna make the law shake. He's got a passion for animals, big and small. The fact that he loves rabbits, he screams it to all. Nobody's safe from his own life to save, bringing justice to the world with his life doing fate. He's got the facts, he's got the proof. Gonna drop a truth bomb, make them all go loose. Fact free scholarship, no lies to be found. He's the hero of the internet, spreading truth all around.
Hey guys, oh fucking hell, right down in this little box. Hello, how's everyone doing? Fucking hell, been eventful, isn't it? I was trying to have a bloody nap as well. Then my phone lit up. So if you were here and you're somebody who lit up my phone and I wanted to know whether I was okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. I am okay. Do you know what I mean? I am alright. This isn't anything that I haven't heard before, if you know what I'm talking about. Nothing I haven't heard before, nothing I haven't addressed before. Same shit, different day. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely fine. Pearl, you're still an absolute alcoholic. Well, like I say, an alcoholic, I'd have sympathy for her, but she's just a pisshead with no life. And Pearl, you're still a racist, wrinkly, leathery old cunt. Who... Evil Queen made a really good point last night, and I don't often agree with Evil Queen, but she said that for Pearl being some big bad traveller, nobody seems to be actually successfully shut up talking about her, do they? Interesting. Anyway, they can fucking do one. I wonder if Angie's dad died because she hit him over the head with fucking broccoli, because I thought that was genuinely a troll. Right, fucking hell. What else can we expect? Right, so this documentary is called Blackfish. It's a documentary that I saw years and years ago when I was house sitting for a mate, and I thought that basically it was going to be shit. I thought it was going to be shit, and it actually turned out to be one of my favourite documentaries of all time. So, synopsis, Blackfish tells the story of Tilikum. I'm sure it's Tilikum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A performing killer whale that killed several people while in captivity. Along the way, director and producer Gabriella Copperthwaite compiles shocking footage and emotional interviews to explore the creature's extraordinary nature, the species' cruel treatment in captivity, the lies the lives and the losses of the trainees and the pressure brought on to bear the multi-billion-dollar sea park history. It's pretty intense. I'll just catch up to the chat because I know there's a few. Fucking hell. A few new people. Thank you, Sharon, for joining us. I'm sure people in the chat will help you along with Twitch. So glad to be able to watch this tonight as Pearl and that lot, and now talking about Tommy Robson. Yeah, you see, I would imagine that if Tommy Robson was there, Angie might be working the dick and shaft while Pearl would be licking the shit out of his ass. So yeah, you can't expect anything else really, can you? Right, let's just get on with it because it is an hour and 23, and with me talking, it's probably 2 hours. Let's go. I also haven't watched it for years as well, so... I like that picture you just sent me with spaghetti. I was going to use it as my green screen, but then I already had deflection on. I was like, well, it fits. This is a can of Diet Coke, Angie. Might want to crack open a drink that isn't, you know, got a percentage. Oh, I don't think I've got this bloody...
Orange County Fire Rescue.
6600 Sea Harbor Drive. SeaWorld Stadium.
Okay.
We actually have a trainer
Oh, shit.
in the water with one of our whales. The whale that they're not supposed to be in the water with.
Okay.
How did I not see that I just left that trigger warning there? My God. I'm a professional, guys. An absolute professional.
We'll get somebody en route.
Okay, through gate number 3 to Shima Stadium.
Gate 3.
Yeah, really, like my best mate watched a documentary about chicken farming, intense chicken farming, and a load of other stuff as well as this. And he ended up going vegan off the back of it. I would never support places like this.
Orange County Sheriff's Office.
We need SO to respond for a dead person at SeaWorld. A whale has eaten one of the trainers.
Oh, fucking hell.
A whale ate one of the trainers.
That's correct.
So how's everyone else's Monday as well? Feel free to talk away in the chat. Fucking that's gotta be 90 CG, isn't it?
Do you believe?
My parents first brought me to a SeaWorld park when I was very young. From that point forward, I was hooked. It meant everything to me because, you know, I'd never wanted anything more.
I remember, being probably in first or second grade, watching National Geographic specials or Mutual of Omaha specials and seeing whales and seeing dolphins. And, as a little kid, just
Oh God, Tom. That sounds absolutely horrific.
being really incredibly inspired by it. I never went to SeaWorld. I grew up in New York, so I went to the Bronx Zoo.
Has anybody in the chat, I mean, it's a long shot, how many of you are in here, 30 odd tonight? Has any of you actually been anywhere like this abroad?
Grew up on a lake with horses. We'd swim the horses.
I grew up around the ocean.
I came from the middle of the country in Flatland, Kansas.
I'm from Virginia. Traveled down, did the theme park thing in Orlando when I was 17. And saw the night show at Shima Stadium. Very emotional, popular music. And I was just, I was very driven to want to do that.
Then I saw what the train.
Well, have you, Molly? And what it would like, do your opinions change of it at all? Or is there anything that you saw there that you were like, yeah, Miss Spaghetti?
Trainers did. And I said, that's what I want to do.
I think in every documentary I've seen them talk about like places like this, they've always said that the traders definitely have a love for the animals. It's just down to conditions. Not reading my scene, don't blame you. I'm ashamed to say I went to one in Tenerife. It was before I seen this documentary and educated me. I think that's the power of something like that, isn't it? This documentary.
One of the trainers there, he goes, "What are you doing out there? You should be a trainer." I go, "I don't know how to train animals. I've never trained animals in my life."
How do you prepare yourself for an encounter with an 8,000-pound Orcinus orca?
It's a guy who voiced Darth Vader. That's random as out. I didn't remember he was doing their training videos.
I always thought you needed like a
Earl Jones, I think he's called. I can't remember.
master's degree in marine biology to be a trainer.
It takes years.
My daughter and granddaughter swam with dolphins in Mexico. When I went on holiday to Mexico with my mum, my dad, my sister and my gran, my mum, my sister and my dad all went to swim with the dolphins and I didn't want to because I thought it seemed cruel. And then I just hung with my gran. Do you know what I mean? I was about 10, you wouldn't notice really, but yes. The trainers look like they look after the whales. I think it's the space they have to live in isn't big enough for them to be happy. I don't think, but it was a great experience. I do feel bad for Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Of study and experience to meet the strict requirements necessary to interact in the water with Shamu.
Come to find out, it really is more about your personality and how good you can swim.
I went and tried out, got the job right away. And I was like, yeah, I was so excited, you know, I was so excited.
I really wanted to be there. I really wanted to do the job. I couldn't wait to get in the water with the animals. I really was proud of being a SeaWorld trainer. You know, I thought this was the most amazing job.
I showed up there on my first day, not really knowing what to expect. I was told to put on a wetsuit and get in the water.
This is it, Tom. There should be testing products on pedos and convicted sex offenders, not bloody animals.
Hey, Mom! Oh, I was scared out of my wits.
First of all, I put my wetsuit on backwards because I was raised on a farm in Virginia. My first thought and memory of that time was that dolphins are a lot bigger than they look when you get in the water next to them.
Bless them.
I watched this Sealand and Otter show, and this guy, Mike Morocco, he comes out during the show with a dress on as Dorky, the alter ego of Dorothy, in a dress with a sea lion, the coward sea lion, right? And he's walking along with this little basket, and I go, I will never, ever do that, you know? 2 months later, hi, I'm Dorky. Walking out on stage with the sea lion.
It's just like parading them around, isn't it?
I was overwhelmed and I was so excited. I mean, just seeing a killer whale is breathtaking.
I was just in awe. It's shocking to see how large they are and how beautiful they are.
Being, you know, in the presence of the killer whales was just inspiring and amazing. And I remember seeing them for the first time, just not being able to believe how huge they were. You're there because you want to train killer whales, and that's your goal.
100%, Molly. They're lashing out of frustration at their environment. They are beautiful and intelligent, 100%.
I didn't know it was going to happen, so I wasn't expecting it. And one day they say, okay, Sam, you're ready to go.
Vaughn, you got it?
You're going to stand on the whale.
We're watching Blackfish, a documentary about a whale at SeaWorld and their practices and stuff. It's a rough one.
You're going to dive off the whale. The whale's going to swim under you and pick you up again. And then you're going to do a perimeter ride around the pool.
Do you know the tails, the fins? I don't know if they're going to mention this in this, but you know how the fins are bent over? That doesn't happen in the wild. When they're put in captivity, their fins start bending over. And they don't know why. It just...
They just told me to go do it.
Well, really, Emily?
I did it. Wow, I just rode a killer whale.
100%, really, because they're so intelligent animals, they do show signs of mental health distress.
When you look into their eyes, you know somebody is home. Somebody's looking back.
Dorsal fin, that's it, yeah.
You form a very personal relationship with your animal.
There's something absolutely amazing about working with an animal. You are a team, and you build a relationship together, and you both understand the goal, and you help each other.
I've been with this whale since I was 18 years old. I've seen her have all 4 babies. We've grown up together. Huh.
That's the joy I got out of it.
Thank you, Artie Jen. Thank you. Well, Emily, that's it. You wouldn't know any better, really, would you?
This is a relationship like I've never had.
Doom, doom.
Bro, I have to know, are you nervous?
I'm scared.
Not gonna lie, I remember when computers, desktops used to look like that sort of shit. They're my favourite animal. Really? Has anyone got any tattoos of animals? If so, what animal?
Nice hair, Jeff.
And why?
Don? Oh, that's Don. Wow.
Guys, don't click on that link that's been posted. Don't click on it at all. It's a scam shit. Do not click on it. I got... Oh, really? Is that like what it's... Is that like a symbol of that in a certain culture or something like that?
I knew Dawn when she was new. She was a great person to work with, and she obviously blossomed into one of SeaWorld's best trainers.
This is Don Brancheau. Don is the senior trainer here at
Yeah,
Cameo
don't
Stadium.
click on
I
that
guess you could say I kinda knew Dawn
link,
in
guys.
past life.
It's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah, we really do go through a lot of physical exertion. You can see in the show, we do a lot of deep water work, breath holds, very high energy behaviors with the animals.
You see 2 foxes on my back? It's my twin's middle name. That's lovely. Anybody else got any tattoos of animals?
Obviously, they're giving out a lot of energy too, but we're working together and having a lot of fun as well.
She's beautiful, she's blonde, she's athletic, she's friendly. You know, everybody loves Dawn.
And I mean this so sincerely. Of watching you perform yesterday, you're amazing. Thank you. You really are.
She captured what it means to be a SeaWorld trainer. She had so much experience that it made me
That's cool. I love that.
realize what happened to her really could have happened to anyone.
This is Detective Rivera with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Today's date is February 24th, 2010. The time is 4:16. In the room with me right now is a Thomas George Tobin. Is that correct?
Correct.
You got a swallow, that's cute.
Did you
Black
see any
Widow,
blood in
nice.
the water or anything like that?
Well, that's part of it.
I got a hedgehog. That's lovely. We rescue hedgehogs at the rescue I volunteer at, and they are lovely animals.
She was scalped, and there was no blood.
Okay.
So pretty much we knew then that the heart wasn't beating.
Once they were able to pull her away, how did he let go of the...
He didn't.
He never let go of the...
The arm?
The arm.
He swallowed it.
He swallowed it? So the arm is nowhere...
Right.
One second. I have a fat unicorn. Cause if I was an animal, that's what I'd be. I remember somebody once said a unicorn is like a horse with a seat on its head. Never fully understood that as a kid, but always laughed. Now I get it. I was telling people that joke when I was like fucking 10, thinking it was hilarious. No, Ames, you know, dyslexic as fuck here too. It's all good. When I was with my ex, we rescued a hamster. It lived till 5 years old. That's awesome. My favourite animal's pandas. I've been tagged in a load of panda videos to react to. I can't wait.
OSHA, on behalf of the federal government, is basically suggesting that swimming with orcas is inherently dangerous and that you can't completely predict the outcome when you enter the water or enter their environment.
That's the crux of the OSHA case. Stay out of proximity with the animals and you won't get killed.
When our beautiful lab passed away, my dad transformed his kennel, which he never used, he was too pampered into a hedgehog hotel. The hedgehogs love it. That's fucking awesome, Homebird. I love that. Orcas are sea pandas. I love that. I tend to have more compassion to animals. Yeah, because animals are better than fucking humans, Tom. Do you know what I mean? Who doesn't agree with that?
It will have a ripple effect through the whole industry. This was national headline news.
SeaWorld's whale performances may never be the same.
Right now, the theme park is arguing in court to keep whale trainers in the water, something OSHA says is extremely dangerous.
These are wild animals, and they are unpredictable because we don't speak whale. We don't speak whale, we don't speak tiger, we don't speak monkey.
And temper
True.
flared between the two sides today when OSHA's attorney suggested that SeaWorld only made changes after trainer Don Brancheau's death outraged the public.
OSHA doesn't want the trainers going back in the water without a physical barrier between them and the whales.
Being in close proximity to these top predators is too dangerous.
They won't then be getting in.
The mental thing is, they are top predators, but not against humans, only when in captivity.
The water, riding
under that stress.
If you were in a bathtub for 25 years, don't you think you'd get a little irritated, aggravated, maybe a little psychotic?
The situation with Don Brancheau, it didn't just happen. It's not a singular event. You have to go back over 20 years to understand this.
Never, Bryony, never. It's terrible when they go hunting for them.
It was a really exciting thing to do, and so everybody wanted to do it.
Wow.
Telling you were going to do.
Capture orcas.
They had aircraft, they had spotters, they had speedboats, they had bombs they were throwing in the water.
This is just horrible. They've been attacking boats near Gibraltar. I wonder if they're getting too close to them, you know what I mean?
Lighting their bombs with acetylene torches in their boats and throwing them as fast as they could to herd the whales into coves. But the orcas had been caught before, and they knew what was going on, and they knew their young ones would be taken from them. So the adults without young went east into a cul-de-sac and
to protect their young.
And the boats followed them, thinking they were all going that way, while the mothers with babies went north. But the capture teams had
that just shows, man, how smart these whales are.
Aircraft, and they have to come up for air eventually. And when they did, the capture teams alerted the boats and said, "Oh no, they're going north, the ones with babies." So the boats, the speedboats, caught them there and herded them in. And then they had fishing boats with seine nets that they would stretch across so none could leave, and then they could just pick out the young ones.
Exactly, Tom. I don't know how you can sleep at night, to be honest, like that. I really fucking do.
We are only after the little one. And the little one is, you know, a big animal still, but I was told because of shipping costs, that's why they only take the little ones.
So the reason they only took the babies is because it would be cheaper as well to transport them. 100% baby snatchers, sir.
They had the young ones that they wanted in the corrals, so they dropped the same.
Oh, this is so sad. I know what's coming up here. All of the babies are trapped there.
And all the others could have left, but they stayed.
We're there trying to get the young orca in the stretcher, and the whole family is out here 25 yards away maybe in a...
Crying for their kids. It's horrible, isn't it? Years and years ago, orcas helped whalers and they get paid the favourite parts of the whale. I can't remember where it was a long time ago. I don't know how. Oh, really?
In a big line, and they're communicating back and forth. Well, you
this happened.
Understand then what you're doing, you know.
And you still did it, pal.
I lost it. I mean, I just...
Oh.
I started crying. I didn't stop working, but I, you know, just couldn't handle it. And just like kidnapping a little kid away from her mother. Everybody's watching. What can you do?
It is.
It's the worst thing I can think of. You know, I can't think of anything worse than that. Now, this really sounds bad, but when the whole hunt was over, there were 3 dead whales in the net. And so they had Peter and Brian and I cut the whales open, fill them with rocks, put anchors on their tail, and sink them.
Jesus.
Well,
this is horrific, isn't it?
Yeah.
How you could watch something like this and then go back somewhere like that, like, absolutely not.
Really, I didn't even think about it being illegal at that point. I thought it was a PR thing.
They were finally ejected from the state of Washington by a court order in 1976. It was SeaWorld by name that was told, do not come back to Washington to capture whales. Without missing a beat, they went from Washington to Iceland and began capturing there.
I've been part of a revolution to change of presidents in Central and South America, and seen some things that it's hard to believe, but this is the worst thing that I've ever done, is hunt that whale.
I have visited places like this. Like I said, the dolphin thing in Mexico, but I never swam with them myself. I chose not to. But there were other. There was a place in Hawaii I went to. It's in that Adam Sandler film, 51st Dates, whatever that place is. I don't think they had large animals there. I'm not 100% sure. I know they had that sea lion that's actually in the film in there, but I don't remember anything else. Tilikum.
Sealand has been a part of Victoria for over 20 years. We specialize in the care and display of killer whales.
Specialise. What a fucking specialty.
I started when he was 4.
A lot of people didn't realise how bad it was. I never went and played. Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. Education is always, you know, the best thing to have, obviously, but at times, things like this were kept secret.
He was up to 16 feet long and weighed 4,000 pounds.
It's huge.
I had actually seen Tilikum quite a number of times. He was right across the strait here in Victoria. All Sealand.
And they moved them from some rescues to the others.
Was a net hanging in a marina with a float around it.
Tilikum was the one we really loved to work with. He was very well behaved, and he was always eager to please.
They're trying to find me to watch. Fucking silly racists. They can come and watch if they want. All we're doing is watching a documentary about a fish, about a whale.
When he was first introduced,
boost my views. I get paid based on the view count.
He just went fine and dandy, but the previous head trainer used techniques that involved punishment. He would team a trained orca up with Tilikum, who was untrained. He would send them both off to do the same behavior. If Tilikum didn't do it,
probably not, Tom,
then both animals were punished, deprived of food to keep them hungry. This caused a lot of frustration with the larger animal, the established animal.
I'm sure you did. Blink Jojo, first time chatter, first time in the stream to come and tell me that.
And
I believe you. It sounds legit.
In turn, get frustrated with Tilikum and would rake him with his teeth.
There would be times during certain seasons that Tilikum would be covered head to toe
with rakes. Rakes are teeth on teeth and raking the skin, and from head to toe you could see blood and you could see scratches, and he would just be raked up.
Both females would gang up on him. Tilikum was the one we trusted. We never were concerned about Tilikum. The issue was really that we stored these whales at night in what we call a module, which was
Thank you for the
20
blue
feet
arts. What
across
the fuck is this?
Probably 30 feet deep, as a safety precaution, because we were worried about people cutting the net and letting them go, and the lights were all turned out. So there's really no stimulation. They're just in this dark metal 20-foot by 30-foot pool for 2/3 of their life.
No, it is. I am not, Laurie. Thank you. It's just, this is a platform that, you know.
When we first started, they were quite small and quite young, so they fit in there quite nicely, but they were immobile for the most part.
They can't be mobile. Look at the fucking space.
It didn't feel good. It just didn't. And it was just wrong.
We started having difficulty getting them all into this one small steel box, to be honest. That's what it was. It was a floating steel box.
That's where food deprivation would come in. We would hold back food, and they would know if they went in the module that they would get their food. So if they're hungry enough, they're going to go in there.
And during the
Yeah, so exactly.
winter, that would be from 5 at night till 7 in the morning.
When you let them out, you'd see these new tooth rakes, and sometimes you'd see blood.
Closing that door.
So they locked them in together on a night, and all of the whales were attacking one whale.
On him. And knowing that he's locked in there for the whole night is like, it's a staff. It's a, whoa.
If that is true, it's not only, you know, inhumane and all.
Absolutely stir crazy.
Tell them so, but it probably led to what I think is a psychosis. That he was on a hair trigger. He'd kill.
An employee is dead after an encounter
At a Canadian park called Sealand of the Pacific.
The victim, Kelty Byrne, was a championship swimmer and a part-time worker at Sealand.
As seen in this home
Jesus.
video, rescuers used a huge net to try.
Workers' efforts were hindered by the agitated whales.
I'd like to make the Pan-Pacific teams this summer, but my more immediate goal is just to swim.
It took so many incidents for anything to happen. They still have trainers in the water with them now.
Fast at nationals.
It was sort of a cloudy gray day and we were looking for something to do, so we thought, why not go to Sealand? It was kind of like this dingy pool with these whales, and
it just felt a little bit like an amusement park that was kind of on its last
A lot of money.
legs, and everything was a bit gray.
yeah, it was like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
3 whales in a swimming pool.
Yeah. And they would come up and touch the ball, and I think there was some tail splashing, and there was
some jumping.
The fish, and
they hold the fish and the whales jump up. I remember saying, oh, what a fun job. You know, she's so lucky. And then I saw her walking with her rubber boots, and she tripped, and her foot just dipped into the edge of the pool, and she lost her balance and fell in. And then she...
Last month, the trainer was killed at SeaWorld. Fuck off, really? I'm going to have a look at that on my phone.
She
What's
was
it?
pushing her way up to get out of the pool, and the whale zoomed over, grabbed her boot, and pulled her back in. At first, I didn't think it was that serious, because you see the trainer in the pool with the whale, and you think, oh, well, you know, the whales are used to that, you know, and then all of a sudden it started getting, there was more swimming, more activity, more thrashing.
Oh, yeah, literally. Psychotic killer whale. Oh, there you go. Molly shared us the link anyway. Oh, it's the same link. Psychotic killer whale. I love the way that they've claimed, like, the was it not dehumanizing, making them sound like they're the problem, they're the beast. Psychotic killer whale dragged tragic trainer to death after life of captivity. This is the thing though. A trainer's been pulled by a ponytail before, and they said that that was the issue. So why is there another trainer? It isn't the issue. Absolutely terrible, man. Visitors had to witness a horrific, deadly attack when a trainer almost had every bone in her body broken before being drowned by a killer whale. You see in the wild when they kill sea lions and all that, they toy and play with them first. I'm sure that's right. Regularly performed it too. Bloody hell. Is that not just a new article about the same fucking whale? I'm looking at it here. This is about this. I think.
And she was starting to get panicked, and then as it progressed, you started to realize, whoa.
Yeah, this is Tilikum.
Something's
So
not right here.
It's a new article about an old story.
She started to scream, and she started looking around, and her eyes were like bigger and bigger, and realizing that I really am in trouble here.
And then they would pull her under, and then they would come up, and then when they came
Pardon
up,
me.
she'd be, help me, help me.
No, it's all right, Molly.
And then they'd take her down again.
And she would be submerged for several seconds, up to, I don't know, maybe a minute. You're not keeping track.
So, it was harder and harder for her to get the air in because she was screaming. And my sister remembers her saying, I don't want to die.
Oof.
Well, condolences to Kelty's family.
Yeah. That we could.
It's a bit of an awkward fucking. Yeah.
It's pretty wretched.
Sealand closed. Well, it's probably a good thing. I mean, it was a little pond. And I think the owner, made the right decision for whatever reasons. I don't believe he's a bad guy, a bad man. I think he was shocked by the whole affair, too.
The blush was gone from the business, and he decided that
Former director, so he must have been really involved.
that was it. We should shut down.
And no one ever contacted us. There was an inquest. No one ever asked us to say what happened. We just left.
Yeah, there was no big lawsuits afterwards, and there's no memorial. And, the only thing remaining of Kelty Burn is what's left in the folks' minds who recall the case.
So in the newspaper articles, the cause of death was that she drowned accidentally, but, she was pulled under by the whale.
Well, there's a bit of smoke and mirrors going on. I mean, one of the fundamental facts is that none of the witnesses were clear about which whale pulled Kelty in.
Yes, yeah, it was the large whale, Tilikum, the male, is the one that went after her. And the other two just kind of circled around, but he was definitely the instigator. And we knew it was that whale because he had the flopped over fin. Like, it was very easy to tell.
Look at the size of that. It's like a normal swimming pool, you'd say, like in a swimming bath or something. It's fucking tiny. It's absolutely tiny. I know, instigator, ridiculous.
Sealand and Pacific closed its doors and was looking, I guess, to make a buck on the way out, and these whales are worth millions of dollars.
When SeaWorld heard that Tilikum was available, after this accident at Sealand and the Pacific, they really wanted Tilikum because they needed a breeder. So I don't even think that anybody even was questioning, like, is this a good idea?
My understanding of the situation was that Tilikum and the others would not be used in shows. They would not be performance animals. Our understanding of their behavior was that it was such a highly stimulating event for them that they were likely to repeat it.
Sealand we were all young and a bit of sea cowboys, and we weren't so technical.
Sea cowboys. Calm down, pal.
And scientific as SeaWorld, so we all had this vision that they knew more than us, and they were better than us, and Tilikum would have a bigger pool, and you'd have a better life, and you would have better care, and you'd have better food, and be a great life for them. So it was like, okay, Tilly, you're going to Disneyland. Lucky you.
Yeah, I can see what they're being sold on there, that it would be better for him, but it's no better.
The orca's intelligence may be even superior to man.
Yeah, exactly, Blink.
As parents, they are exemplary, better than many human beings, and like human
Fucking rights they are.
beings, they have a profound instinct for vengeance. Dino De Laurentiis presents Orca.
If you go back only 35 years, we
As if they made a horror film about whales.
nothing, in fact, less than nothing. What the public had was superstition and fear.
A fight to the death between the two most dangerous animals on Earth.
Kind of looks a bit like Angie.
These were the vicious killer whales that, had 48 sharp teeth that would rip you to shreds if they
Yeah, Molly, I do.
got a chance.
Look at them.
What
How
we
could you be
learned is
cruel to that?
they're amazingly friendly and understanding and intuitively want to be your companion.
I didn't mean the whale, I meant the guy with the gun. Don't mess with anybody who's got nothing to lose. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you've took my bottle of wine, but I will find you.
And to this day, there's no record of an orca doing any harm to any human in the wild.
It's not cryptic, it's just straight fat, that really. Honestly, I remember the size of the pool and it was not big enough for a whale to be comfortable. Makes me think of Finding Dory and the whales. Yes.
They live in these big families, and they have lifespans very similar to human lifespans. The females can live to about 100, maybe more. Males to about 50 or 60, but
Okay,
the
now
adult
that's an age.
offspring never leave their mother's side. Each community has a completely different set of behaviors.
I'm sure they don't live as long in captivity, though.
Each has a complete repertoire of vocalizations with no overlap. You could call them languages. The scientific community is reluctant to say any other animal but humans uses languages, but there's every indication that they use languages.
The orca brain just screams out intelligence, awareness. We took this tremendous brain and we put it in a magnetic resonance imaging scan.
Just give me a second. I was just thinking off the top of my head there.
I left that Discord about a year ago.
Were you in the Discord yourself?
Yeah, they didn't know it was me in there. I was undercover trying to find out what they were doing with regards to Lucy Rose.
What's the Discord? PLM. I'm sure Angie talks about it. That's why I was just getting this clip.
Because Aki trolled Lucy Rose really, really badly. And rightly so, because she
It's an itch I need to scratch. I need to know if I'm right.
shouldn't have been on the app, and that's why the injunction's in place now. But I will not associate myself with them. I'm friends with some people who are in there because
Yes, you are, aren't you?
it's dark humour. But for me, that's not funny.
Making child porn is dark humour, guys. You heard it here first by Feisty.
There's funny, right, Ange, and then there's twisted, and some of the things that go down in there are twisted. And what I've
How would you know if you haven't seen it, Feisty?
seen of them every time it's on the app, it's drama, and that's not the kind of drama I want for my followers, for our community, and where I am. Humour is subjective, completely, you get it. The owner, on the other hand, because I know you're watching this, Sweet Pea, you want my attention and you want grace with my presence, and that's not going to happen. You're trying to trigger us by talking about my children and my partner. Sweet Pea, everything you're saying and doing is being recorded. I've not got my other phone with
I've got 2 clips of them talking here about. I'm sure Angie mentioned
this.
being in it.
However, I've got a massive community who support what I'm doing, and your time is almost up. I've been in touch with, like I said, the cybercrime unit with the Met team. So I've been in touch with them today, and I've handed over all of our accounts. I've been in touch with TikTok Central in London, and made them aware of
Johnny,
everything
he's a good
that's
egg.
been said and done, and the horrific the horrific things that come out of her mouth. And I'm aware that the cybercrime unit is literally monitoring that woman closely.
This is how convincing Feisty is. Have you heard all this police case shit she's quoting? This was like fucking 3 years ago. What's happened, Feisty? No.
Mostly. This
Never
is the last thing I'll say about her. I appreciate people coming into my lives and telling us she's talking about us. However, my children, my gorgeous, beautiful children, I spent a fortune in IVF to have these babies. I am safeguarding trained.
Currently trying to prove that, aren't you? Currently trying to prove that.
I've never put them in harm's way, not once, not never. I'm a helicopter parent, so I make sure that they're safe in everything that they say and that they do. And I can guarantee you now, the phone call that you've made to social services isn't going anywhere. But if you
Does she
get
actually
pregnant,
phone- does she actually do that?
Yeah. She's phoned them. I've spoken to them today. I rang them and preempted it. I can guarantee one thing now, Leona, my darling. If you're on social media and eventually you do become pregnant, your children will be going into care with a nasty, emotionally abusive mouth like you.
Oh, God.
Can I just say, LJ, we're not talking behind her back, so can you just wind that in a little bit, please? Because you're boring me to death.
You know,
in the house
Well,
today, she's obviously booting off saying and she was outraged. Oh, that's disgusting. Out of PLS, not.
They're just talking away. Wait a minute. Is this the same clip? Have I just got it twice?
And now I'm the queen of the ginger because ginger lives do matter. And I know that's your topic tonight. For me, PLM is not something that I have ever supported. My initial...
Are you sure about that, Feisty? What's that, Feisty? There's Feisty in the box. Big up Frosty. Do-do-do. And then this is way too Feisty. So this is her followers. So you obviously see Feisty is following. And then you see that there's Frosty and who's following. Oh. I know who that is as well behind that account. I'm not going to say at the moment. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I had Feisty basically admitting to it and lots of evidence.
What we found was just astounding. They've got a part of the brain that humans don't.
What was that? The belly thing? That was Feisty's belly. She was sending pictures like that in Discord.
A part of their brain has
In
extended
PLM.
out right adjacent to their limbic system. The system processes emotions. The safest inference would be these are animals that have highly elaborated emotional lives. It's becoming clear that dolphins and whales have a sense of self, a sense of social bonding that they've taken to another level, much stronger, much more complex than in other mammals, including humans. We look at mass strandings, the fact that they stand by each other. Everything about them is social. Everything. It's been suggested.
Oh, do I?
I'm willing to offer you a pardon if you join the PLM server and you change them orange hearts to purple hearts in the username.
I'm already in there, man. I'm already in there.
Oh, you're already in there. Under what account?
Oh, I'm not telling you.
I bet you're orange heart to the username to purple.
Talk. Yeah, I'm in there, man. I'm in there. What's your name on there? Well, I'm not going to tell you that, innit? That's a secret account, but I'm in there.
Nah, but Andy, I can't lie. You was chatting the most shit and blocking you from me from like all your lives and shit. So
I bet
make it up.
in the server trying to find out who she is.
We'll find out. But to make it up, Andy, you're gonna have to change them orange.
So if you don't know who this is talking, this is Purple Aki, who ran PLM.
To the username to purple. You have to unblock me from all your accounts.
And change the username to Purple. That's in relation to their Purple Hearts that support that group.
Change them to purple. I will change them to purple. And can we be unblocked from...
Okay?
What else have I got? Lots of things, you know, never bloody brought up. Where's the thing?
They're fucking disgusting, man. They just eat anything that's living. Anything. They eat fucking anything. The Chinese eat fucking everything and anything. Yes. Yeah. Just like the Japanese, innit? Now look what they were like in the war. You know what I mean? Fucking barbaric. Alexa, play Bon Jovi. Alexa, let's from them. Let's don't forget, the COVID came from China. COVID came from China. China are responsible for a lot of things, a fucking lot of things. Yeah? They eat anything what they can get their hands on. Living creatures. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Eat everything and anything. Because they've been barbaric. Yeah? And let's not forget they were also, with the COVID, was because of China.
So they're all barbaric, are they?
Yes.
You see, when people are like, fuck me, like I've had files on these cunts for years.
They shut down the whole world, China did. And they should actually be responsible. Be responsible for what they've done to the whole world. I don't care. I'm sick of seeing these videos, man, of these Chinese men eating fucking the way they fucking eat these living seafood and this and that. You know what I mean? They're fucking barbaric, and I hope they die slowly. That's my wish.
The fuck?
I'm getting angry, man. They don't give a shit how they kill it. They'll eat it alive if they could, because that's how they are, barbaric. And let's not forget about the Japanese. Yeah, barbaric in the fucking war. Barbaric. Chinese and Japanese just like each other.
Absolute fucking wronging. Absolute fucking wronging. I've got more PLM evidence as well, haven't I? But we'll not, we'll not bring everything up, shall we?
Say it. Don't say what? I didn't say the word. What, the word spastic? Oh, you can say the word, man.
Nice.
Exactly. Just say the word spastic, yeah?
Word has not been used. Well, this...
It's Spastic Society. That's what they used to call it. Stop saying it.
Let's keep going there. Fucking not interrupting our documentary.
Sense of self is distributed among the individuals in their group.
5 of them. These orca are going to attack this seal, and they've been breaking the ice off and swimming around him. Oh, here they come, 2 of them. Look at underneath there. You can see them underneath. They made a big wave. Look at.
But this is what they do. This is how they hunt in the wild. I mean, I feel sorry for the sail, but it's smart. They're moving it to cause the sail to be knocked off.
If you can't watch the bullfight, you better leave. Oh yeah, here they go. Look at this. 3 of them.
Creating the wave to knock them off. Look.
It's all over.
But this is natural. This is, you know what I mean? Seeing them in sea life or whatever the fuck it is, that's not real.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over.
Miss Baguette, just give us a second, guys. I'm going to send you those clips. Give me 1 second. If you want to post them in Comment Caf or anywhere else, I will send it. I will send it to you right now. Give me 1 second. There's one. And yeah, obviously I've got quite a big folder on Angie. But there's a few things sending to you. I need to make sure I've closed that down properly. And you can post them on Comment Caf if you want, because I don't want to get derailed from it. It was just an itch I wanted to scratch, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I have that. Why won't the PLM one not send? Send. There we go. Give it a second, guys. Sorry, bear with me. I think they've all sent through to you now, Miss Baguette. Post them where you would like. Hey, red wine. Oops, I haven't put this on. There we go.
The First Nations people and the old fishermen on the coast, they call them Blackfish. They're an animal that possesses great spiritual power, and they're not to be meddled with.
This just makes me so sad.
They're always in.
I feel like you guys have really been my emotional support animal today. Not just, you know, I suppose I'm blocking out, obviously, some of how I feel as fucking natural. Do you have the one feisty as well? Yeah, of course. I'll give you that one as well, Miss Spaghetti. 1 second.
Sure. I never get out of the boat.
And this documentary's sad, isn't it?
The speed and the power is quite amazing. Rules are the same as a pool hall. Keep 1 foot on.
1 second, guys. Sorry, I have to turn the screen off. I don't want to be the guy who doxes Miss Baguette by accident. Like, fucking give us a second. Yeah, if there's any cunt that you don't like on TikTok who is, you know, a vile piece of shit, not just because you have some personal vendetta, get in touch with me and I will share anything if I have it. Anything if I have it on anyone. These are all the screenshots I'm sending you now, Miss Baguette, proving the PLM members follow Feisty and they follow their back. Also, Feisty being in one of PLM's members' newest server, Johnny, who's, I think, Frosty, I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, it's Scottish Johnny and Frosty, the 2 different members. Then I will send you, unfortunately, I might be sending a couple twice. I'm not fucking sure. Then we've got, obviously, the screenshot of Feisty in Angie's box, Frosty in the comments and in the box with Feisty saying big up Frosty, who's obviously PLM. Then I'll send you the screen recording of Feisty talking to Angie about PLM and how they're not that bad, and she was in there. There you go. Post where you would like. 1 second. Free Willy is a great film, but the whale... I heard to break it to you, the whale that was in the show went through nothing but fucking torture afterwards. Like, I've watched a documentary on that whale. It's very sad.
All times.
100%, really, and it's in... You know what I mean? Oh, that's the name. I couldn't think of the name. Blink, thank you.
Even after seeing him thousands of times.
I'd love to go see whales in the wild like this, like on a fucking boat. I'd probably throw up. I've got like a irrational fears for things that I haven't done for a while. I've obviously been on a boat before, but I feel like you have to be like right out there, don't you? If it's choppy.
You see him and you still, wake up.
Oh, this is beyond sad, man. Poor
He
whale.
arrived, I think, in 1992.
Hi,
I was
Merlin.
at Whale and Dolphin
Hello.
Stadium when he arrived, and he's twice
Oh,
as large
boy.
as the next animal in the
Oh
facility.
boy. 1 second, guys. My son's just come. Yeah, my son took Merlin for a walk, so he's just brought him back in.
Right at about 12,000 pounds. That's incredible. He looks fantastic.
When Tilikum arrived at
I went on a boat to see dolphins. Took us 4 hours out to see them and 4 hours to get back. I was sick by the time. I bet.
SeaWorld.
Okay,
He was
now.
attacked viciously, repeatedly by Katina and others. In the wild, it's a very matriarchal society. Male.
By the way, comment calf people, and I need to just make an account. Somebody saying he had clips of Angie being in PLM this whole time. Yeah, I've shared them. They're in the feisty videos. They're in the feisty videos on YouTube. They've been there the whole time.
Whales are kept at the
Shared them multiple times. They're on my Instagram. Like, these are not like secret files.
perimeter. In captivity, the animals are squeezed into very close proximity. Tilikum, the poor guy is so large, he couldn't get away because he just is not as mobile relative to the smaller and more agile females. And where was he going to run? There's no place to run.
I think
Poor Tilikum,
he
man.
spent a lot of time in isolation. SeaWorld claims that, oh no, he's always in with the females. But I mean, from what I saw, he was mostly put with the females for breeding purposes. And
I went on a boat ride to Cali to see dolphins and saw no dolphins. Then was randomly sat in a restaurant at the end of the pier one day and boom, a dolphin. Honestly, right, if you Google Sunderland dolphins, like literally there was dolphins off the pier of Sunderland. I mean, like, fucking hell, if you're going to pick somewhere in the UK, I don't know why the hell you headed to Sunderland. I'm sure. Can I Google it? No, I keep getting distracted. I keep going all
spend
over.
a lot of time, with the other whales.
They get me fidget
It's for his own
thingamajiggies.
protection. He gets beat up. And so by segregating him, it provides a physical barrier so the females can't kick his butt.
Tilikum is pretty much kept in the back and then
Oh, did you blink?
brought out at the very end is like the big splash.
Sure.
He was
Melon's been for a walk, so he's just chilling on the couch immediately. Oh no, here he comes. What are you doing? What's the matter? Candy bear, look at him. You're just chilling?
always happy to see you in the morning.
Dolphins with a Geordie accent, that's it.
Maybe because he was alone, maybe because he was hungry, maybe because he just liked you. Who knows what was going on in his head?
Want a whistle?
It's really loud.
Come on, big boy. Show those legs.
He seemed to like to work. He seemed to be interested. He seemed to want to learn new things. He seemed to be enjoying, working with the trainers.
He, for me, was a joy. He really responded to me, and I, every day I went to work, I was happy to see Tilly.
That's cute. You're being too cute.
I never got the impression of him while I was there that, oh my God, he's the scary whale. Not at all.
Maybe
They are, aren't they? That's what I was thinking, Blink. They are just beautiful creatures.
some of it's just our naivety or whatever.
Tired boy.
Because we weren't given the full details of Kelty's situation.
Sorry, I disturbed you.
I was
And
under
say
the
hello to
impression that
everyone.
Tilikum had nothing to do
Over
with
here.
her death, specifically that it was the female whales who were responsible for her death. What I found really odd at
Mhm.
first was the way they were acting around this
I
whale
know.
and what they had told
You're a
us
good boy, ain't
seemed
you?
to me to be two different things. The first day he arrived, I remember one of the senior trainers at SeaWorld, Tilikum was in a pool and she was walking over a gate and she had her wetsuit
Everyone's
unzipped
saying
and was
hello,
tied around
madam.
her waist and she was
Don't
making
start
cooing
acting
noises
up,
and
look at
going,
you.
"Hey, Tilikum, what a cute little whale."
2
And she
minutes
was,
apiece.
She was like just kind of play
Where's
talking
your
at him,
toys
and one of the supervisors said, "Get her out of there!" and just screamed at her, like get her away from there. Like they were so worried that something was going to happen. And I remember thinking, why are you guys making such a big deal out of this when he didn't actually kill her? Well, clearly management thought there was some reason to exercise caution. Or
Did you just say, why are you making a big... Pardon me, why are you making a big deal of it if you didn't kill her?
found him. It's clearly they knew more than they were telling us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next few behaviors you're going to be seeing, you can only see right here at SeaWorld.
Jeff was out in the audience filming one of the shampoo
Don't
shows.
chew on that, thank you.
It
You've
was a
got lots of
perfect show.
toys.
All of the hot dog sequences, the waterworks sequences went off great.
I I was really excited just to be capturing this because it was kind of turning out to be a great show. A show that's kind of complete. It doesn't. It
Very
probably only happens
90s.
a few times a week.
At the very end of the show,
You all
Liz
right?
was working
Oh, you
Tilikum,
just
and
scratched.
apparently Tilikum lunged out of the water at her.
And I had captured Tilikum
No.
coming out of the water,
Sit.
kind of turning sideways and
Oh,
appearing
boy.
to me to try to grab
No.
Liz. And at that moment, the tape became unusable. I was just kind of basically instructed to get rid of the tape. Wanting to kind of preserve the tape, I actually used the editing equipment and like snipped out that little half second or a second when he.
Oh, for God's sake. Why'd you stop as soon as I turned the camera? He was just chasing his tail.
Did that and stitched it back together, so it just kind of looked like a glitch in the tape. And I'm like, look at this, and it was like, no, this is no longer usable, you know. And so we had to destroy the tape.
Will you be careful, please? Obviously not. Are you all right? Would you get off my blinds, please? I want to look out the window. I'll see. What the fuck? That's one hell of a fucking argument.
That SeaWorld would claim there was no expecting Tilikum to come out of the water because they had witnessed him coming out of the water, and it's written into his profile. He lunges at trainers.
When we visit SeaWorld, we tend to take for granted the fact that Shamu has been provided with a safe and comfortable habitat.
And everything trained is an extension of the killer whale's natural behavior.
Absolutely no, it isn't. My dog does the same shit. Like, literally, if I could show you the living room is just littered with toys all over it. He's come here to try and chew on my hand instead.
I spewed out the party line during shows. I'm totally mortified now.
I wonder how much these sea life people, is it Sea Life or SeaWorld? I feel like I keep saying the wrong fucking thing. I wonder how much they were paid as a job to do this shit, you know what I mean?
Like something like, look at Namu. You know, Namu's not doing that because she has to.
Namu is doing this because she really wants to.
Oh my gosh. Like some of the things I'm embarrassed by, so embarrassed by. At the time, I think I could have convinced myself that the relationships that we had were built on something stronger than the fact that I'm giving them fish. You know, I liked
Yeah, basically home bird.
to think that. But I don't know that that's the truth. I had been there a while and I had seen a few other things along the way that made me question why I was there and what we were doing with these animals.
I want to know, did you get fired or did you leave?
On November 4th, 1988.
Is that how many they gave you, Molly? Have you not got Amazon Prime? Have you not got Amazon Prime? Because you can sub for free if you have Amazon Prime.
Killer whale at SeaWorld gave the performance
I can't do these reactions on YouTube live because you get struck for them. That's
of a lifetime. Don't miss this small miracle. Come see our new baby Shamu.
I know it was naive of me, but I thought that
You guys can sub for free with Amazon Prime, you know. If you go to your web browser and sign in to Prime Gaming, then come back here, you'll be able to sub for free. Get rid of them ads.
it was our responsibility to do as much as we could to keep their family units together, since we knew that in the wild that's what happens.
Yes, sir. That's our baby.
Kalina was the first baby Shamu.
Baby
Yeah,
Shamu,
so-
SeaWorld's newest star. Don't
She had become quite disruptive and challenging her mom a little bit and disrupting some shows and that kind of thing.
She's got the whole place jumping, Sham.
Molly, that's funny.
She's our baby.
does work, Blink. A lot of people do it on my my page.
It was
Majority
decided
of
by the
people,
higher-ups
to be
that she
fair.
would be moved to another park when she was just 4.5 years old, and that was news to us as trainers that were
Thank you, Dead Farmer, for the sub. Appreciate you. Thank you.
working with her. To me, it had
It's a great fucking username as well.
never crossed my mind that they might be moving the baby from her mom.
Dead Flannel. Some sort of relation.
The supervisors
Never mind.
basically
I was going to say that
was kind
Andrews.
of mocking me, like, "Oh, you're saying poor Kalina? You know, what's she gonna do without her mommy?" And and that of course just shut me up. So the night of the move, we had to deploy the nets to separate them and get Kalina the baby into the med pool. And Katina was generally a quiet whale. She was not overly vocal whale. After Kalina was removed from the scene and put on the truck.
Oh, thank you, Gainey, for gifting out a sub to Molly. Thank you so much. That's such a lovely thing to do for the community. Thank you so much.
And taken to the airport, and Katina, her mom, was left in the pool. She stayed in the corner of the pool, like literally just shaking and screaming, screeching, crying. Like,
isn't that nice, Molly?
I'd never seen her do
I knew you'd appreciate it as well. You're a real one.
anything like that.
Isolated. I thought that said isolated tinker, and I was going to congratulate you on also having a username. I'm afraid you go change it. No, I can't be making demands like this.
And the other females in the pool, maybe once or twice during the night, they'd come out and check on her, and she'd screech and cry, and they would just run back. There was nothing that you could call that watching it besides grief.
Those are not your whales. You know, you love them, and you think, I'm the one that touches them, feeds them, keeps them.
Yeah, but you can't replace what they would gain from being with one of their own.
Alive, gives them the care that they need. They're not your whales. They own them. Kasaka and Takara were very close. Kasaka was the mother, Takara's the calf. Takara was special to me. They were inseparable. When they separated Kasaka and Takara, it was to take Takara to Florida. Once Takara had already been stretchered out of the pool, put on the truck, driven to the airport, Kasaka continued to make vocals that had never been heard before. They brought...
Does he really? This is so sad.
The senior research scientist to analyze the vocals.
The senior research scientist, it's pretty fucking obvious why she's making the noise. You don't need to fucking do some research.
They
How much are they
were
getting paid?
long-range vocals. She was trying something that...
They don't usually do long-range vocals when they're in SeaWorld, I think, because obviously they know that they're in a small area.
No one had even heard before.
There we go.
For Takara. That's heartbreaking. How can anyone look at that and think that that is morally acceptable? It's not.
Hell, man.
It is not okay.
Stand by, Dean. Let's go live to SeaWorld, where Dan Gummersall is joining us for a sneak peek. Hi, Dean. Tell us about the new show.
Good afternoon, Richard. The new show is Whale and Dolphin Discovery. What it does is it shows the relationship we have between all our animals here at the Whale.
There's so many things that were told to us that they tell you so many times that you start believing it, you know.
It's all the animals here get along very well. It's just like training your dog, really.
I was blind, you know. I was a kid, you know. I didn't know what I was doing really.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, true, Sue. Very true. When you think about it, this kid's at risk. Do you know what I mean? Like, they did not have control of these animals at all.
Bought into what they told us. You know, I learned to say what they told us to the audience.
Hello out there! Children are some of Shamu's biggest fans. We can do just about anything we want.
I thought I knew everything about killer whales when I worked there, you know, and everything about these animals. I really know nothing about killer whales. I know a lot about being an animal trainer or a killer whale trainer, but I don't know anything about these animals' natural history or their behavior. I really, in some ways, believed a lot of what I was learning from them, because why would they lie?
Because the whales in their pools die young, they like to say that all
No,
life
that's
is...
that's not silly. That's not silly. It's probably sadly the same, you know.
Die at 25 or 30 years.
25 to 30.
Do you reckon damage control for the trainers? Yeah, you be in this documentary or you're going to look like a dickhead sort of thing.
5 years, 25 to 35 years. They're documented in the wild, living to be about 35 or mid-30s. They tend to live a lot longer in this environment because they have all the veterinary care.
And of course that's false. We knew by 1980, after half a dozen years of the research, that they live equivalent to human lifespans. And every other potentially embarrassing fact is...
Kept them mostly by food. They used to, yeah. They were saying before about bringing them in and by starving them from food to then lead them into places, didn't they?
Twisted and turned and denied one way or another.
So in the wild they live less. And then
Like the floppy dorsal fins.
25% of whales have a fin that turns over like that as they get older.
Dorsal collapse happens in less than 1% of wild killer whales. We know this. All of the captive males, 100%, have collapsed dorsal fins.
And they say that they're a family, that the whales are in their family. They have their pods, but that's just, an artificial assemblage of their collection, however management decides they should mix them, and whichever ones happen to be born or bought and brought in. That's not a family. Come on.
You've got animals from different cultural subsets that have been brought in from various parks.
Yeah,
These are different
full bird.
nations. These aren't just two.
But when you see them interact with the animals, I don't think it shows that they are heartless or horrible. But because a lot of these people were not like specialists with whales or like marine biologists or something. They were just good swimmers. A lot of them were just known as good swimmers. That first girl that was attacked was a trainee Olympic swimmer. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Like that was their qualification to be in the water with an animal.
Different killer whales. These animals, they've got different genes. They use different languages.
This guy's actually asleep on the floor. How dare you, sir? If you start kicking off when we go to bed, there'll be hell on. In my mind, I was gonna say you'll be sleeping outside, and then I corrected myself and was like, in reality, it'll probably be me.
Well, what can happen as a result of them being thrown in?
Yeah, well, to be fair, he had a walk when I came in, and then he's had another one. He's had about 3 walks today, but he needs it.
With other whales that they haven't grown
Son
up
wanted to walk
with, that
him.
are not part of their culture, there's hyperaggression, a lot of violence, a lot of killing in captivity that you don't ever see in the wild.
For the
No.
health and safety of the animals, please do not put your hands in the water.
Look at that.
Always sort of
Look at
this
that.
backdrop, this underpinning of tension.
That's horrible,
between
man.
Animals.
But they're
Whale on
still
whale
performing.
aggression was just part of the daily existence.
We ask that you use the stairs and aisleways as you exit.
And look,
Please do not
the whale's doing what it's supposed to do, still do the performers. It's the trainers worried that people are seeing the blood.
step on the seats. These areas may become wet and therefore slippery to some footwear. Thank you.
In the wild, when there's tension, they've got thousands of square miles to exit
Bugger
the
off,
scene,
yeah.
and they can get away. You don't have that in captivity.
Could you imagine being in a small concrete enclosure for your life when you're used to swimming 100 miles a day?
That's terrible.
Sometimes this aggression became very severe, and in fact, whales have died in captivity because of this aggression.
They killed each other. Because he's been attacked by the other whales.
I think it was 1988, Candu trying to assert her dominance over Corky, rammed Corky. It fractured her jaw, which cut an artery in her head, and then she bled out.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's got to be a hard way to go down.
Oh shit, Sherlock.
I saw that there was just a lot of things that weren't right, and there was a lot of misinformation, and something was amiss. And you know, I sort of
Yeah, like the guy was saying, attacked by another whale because they're in such small areas together.
compartmentalized that part of it and did the best that I could with the knowledge that I had to take
Yeah,
care of
so-
the animals that were there. And I think all the trainers there have the same thing in their heart. They're trying to make a difference in the lives of the animals. You think that if I leave, who's going to take care of Tilikum? And that's why I stayed. I feel sorry for Tilikum. I mean, if you want to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, I stayed because I feel sorry for Tilikum.
Do we believe him?
And I couldn't bring myself to stop coming and trying to take care of him.
Gosh, do I love coming out here every day and having the audience just love what we're doing with the animals. How do I make this animal as beautiful as they are and have people walk away loving this animal, and they're touched and they're moved, and I feel like I made a difference to them.
I left in January of 2010, a month before Dawn passed away. She was like a safety guru. I mean, she was always double checking, making sure that everyone was doing the right thing. So I remember she would record every show
Yeah, maybe really. It's hard to tell, isn't it?
that she did, and she would watch it and critique herself. And she was constantly trying to be better. When I found out it was Dawn, I was shocked. That could have been me. I could have been the spotter.
Jesus,
what if I was
Molly.
there and I could have saved her? You know, all these things go through your mind.
John Sillick is the guy who in 1987 was crushed between two whales at SeaWorld of San Diego. Now, even though I'd been working at SeaWorld for 6 months, I had no
God.
idea that that had even happened. I never even heard that story. And the SeaWorld party line was that, well, it was a trainer error.
It was John's fault, John's fault. He was supposed to get off that whale, and for
No,
years I
Tom,
believed that, and I
same.
told people that.
I actually started SeaWorld like 5 days after that event occurred, and we weren't told much about it other than it was trainer error, and especially when you're new into the program, you don't really question a whole lot.
Well, years
Yeah.
later, when you actually look at the footage, you go, you know what? He didn't do anything wrong. That whale just landed on him. That whale just went to the wrong spot, or it could have been aggression. Who knows? But it was not the trainer's fault at all. Watching that video.
When I saw the video of the killer whale landing on John, I mean, it just absolutely took my breath away. I gasped. I watched it 2 or 3 times, and every time I saw that, I just gasped. I could not believe what I was seeing. What kept his body together was that, his wetsuit basically held him together. But I know he's had multiple surgeries, and he's got tons of hardware in his body. And it's hard for me to believe that I didn't actually see that video
You'd think so, Ames.
while I was actually an animal trainer, because it seems to me that every person who works with killer whales should have to watch that video.
Tamari, Tamari made mistakes. The most important one was interacting with whales without a spotter.
A spotter?
So she's putting her foot on Orchid, she's taking her foot off. She's putting her foot on Orchid, her rostrum, she's taking it off. Watching the video, knowing Orchid, your stomach drops because you know what's probably
I don't know, Tom. I try not to speak about shit I don't know enough about,
gonna
I
happen.
would hope not.
She grabbed her foot.
I'm going to leave this plane. I just need to go for a piss.
Tamari whips around and she grabs the gate. You see her just ripped from the gate. At this point, Tamari knows that she's in trouble. She's under the water. Splash and Orchid both have her. She's totally out of view. No other trainer knows that this is happening. People start to scream, as the park guest that was filming it. You don't see her, but you hear Tamari surface You hear her just scream out, "Somebody help me." And the way she screamed it was just such a blood-curdling, like she knew she was gonna die. Robin, when he ran over, he made a brilliant decision. He told the trainer to run it and take the chain off Kasaka's gate. By taking that chain off, it would give the precursor to Orchid that Kasaka was coming in. Kasaka is more dominant than Orchid. So Orchid let her go. Her arm, it was U-shaped. It was compound fractured. She's very lucky to be alive, that's for sure.
I believe it's 70 plus, maybe even
Terrific, isn't it?
more, just killer whale trainer accidents. Maybe 30 of them happened prior to me being actually hired at SeaWorld,
Yes, really.
and I knew about none of them.
How? 12-year-old male, and then that'd be the whale repeatedly slammed trainer Steve underwater during the show. Eibel, who was uninjured, had trained Sunshine for 10 years, refused a rocket hop during the show, then repeated. Well, however, then... Jesus Christ.
I've seen animals come out at trainers.
Like that? Like that shit.
Something's wrong.
I've seen people get slammed.
Fucking whales are not stupid.
The whale.
How do you not realise there's something wrong?
They're just playing, or are they upset for a second?
Fucking hell.
It was just something that happened, you know?
It's called
Yeah, same aims.
culture of you get back on the horse and you dive back in the water, and if you're hurt, well, then we've got other people that will replace you, and you came a long way. Are you sure you
Yeah,
want that?
buddy. You could have just still sat there. I was only going to the toilet. That's it. Have a lie down. Fucking hell.
A SeaWorld trainer is recovering today after a terrifying ordeal in front of a horrified audience.
It says trainer Ken Peters prepares for a rocket hop with Kasakt, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, a 5,000-pound killer whale. Oh, there's your ball. This is his favourite toy at the minute. Can I show everyone? Bring it here. No? Well, everyone will hear it anyway. It makes lots of noise, which is exactly what we need with the documentary. The green screen's on, so you can't really see it. But yeah. It's your favourite, isn't it? You ready? Go. Good enrichment toy, that. And I bought one that was like just a bit awkward for him to get in his mouth. Isn't it? So it's a little harder. Seconds after diving in, grabs hold of his foot.
For some reason, the whale just...
Now and again, you'll just say Merlin going like, wee! Oh my gosh. Don't knock all the lightsabers over, please.
Took a different approach to what it was going to do with a very senior, very experienced trainer, Ken Peters, and dragged him to the bottom of the pool. Held him in the bottom.
I'm sure this noise isn't distracting anybody. Let's have some Merlin emotes.
Let him go, picked him up, took him down again.
He got it in my bedroom the other night, and I was just woken up in the middle of the night with, which is not like, I thought I was getting attacked by the fucking Muppets.
And these periods he was taken down were pretty close to the mark. You know, minute 20. When he was at the surface, he didn't panic, he didn't thrash, he didn't scream. Maybe he's just built that way, but he stroked the whale.
Yes, Rain.
And the whale let go of one
Good
foot
ball,
and grabbed the
though.
other. That's a pretty deep pool, and he took him right down. I think that's to 2 atmospheres of pressure. Apparently, Mr. Peters is an experienced scuba diver, and I think that knowledge probably contributed to how he was able to be hauled down there that quickly and stay calm and know what to do.
You better be careful, my guitar there.
He knew what he was doing, because when you can see him actually in the film, the depth is so good, you can see him ventilating. You can see him ventilating really hard. So he knows about swimming and diving and being underwater.
Now, if you can just sit there and wait for your ball for the next half hour.
I did not walk away unimpressed by
Look at his face.
calm
He looks
demeanor
absolutely
during
fucked,
that
didn't he?
whole affair.
He probably thought staying calm would help.
He was scared shitless.
Could have been in shock.
He was near to the end. Presumably, and Peters had a relationship with this whale. Maybe he did. And maybe that's what saved him, but Peters got the whale to let him go.
Sit.
And they strung a net across.
Very lucky.
And Ken Peters,
Quick as he could under that net. Look at it turning round. Look at it turning round.
Swam like a demon.
It would have fucking definitely had him again, wouldn't it? What do you think, Merlin? Noisy boy.
Into a slide out because the whale was coming right behind him. The
Leave.
whale jumped over it and came right after him. He
Sit.
tried to stand up and run. Of
Sit.
course, his feet were damaged on him. He just fell and he scrambled.
So lucky.
And they take this as a prime example of their training working.
Oops.
You know, they say, well, you know, to stand back and stay calm, and that did work. They claim this as a
Definitely.
victory of.
I think it was because the whale's turning circle was so big, because obviously it's a big whale, that he got away.
How they do business.
No, don't jump. You ready? Look.
And maybe so, but it can also be interpreted as a hair's breadth away from another fatality.
Well, of course.
Hi, Shamu. Hi, everybody. We're the Johnsons from Detroit, Michigan.
We sure had a great time when we visited SeaWorld. It's one of our favorite places.
How did anybody think these adverts were genuine?
Yeah, I like the part when Shamu gets everybody wet.
When the whales get close to the glass and start kicking up the water, whammo, you're a goner.
Orange County's sheriff deputies have identified the 27-year-old man found dead in a killer whale's tank at SeaWorld. The victim is Daniel P. Dukes from South Carolina. Dukes was found yesterday draped over the back of Tilikum, the largest orca held in captivity.
Fucking hell.
Well, all I know is the public relations version of it. He was a young man that had been arrested not long before he snuck into SeaWorld. Maybe he climbed the barbed wire fence around the perimeter and stayed after hours.
Perfect storyline. A mentally disturbed guy hides in the park after hours and strips his clothes off and decides he wants to have a magical experience with an orca and drowns because he became hypothermic. Right, so that's the storyline, and none of us were there to know the difference.
He was not detected by the night watch trainers who were
Fucking terrible.
presumably at that station.
There are cameras all over SeaWorld. There are cameras all over the back of Shamu Stadium. pointing every which way. There are underwater cameras. I find it hard to believe that
Oh, you got your other
nobody
ball.
knew until the morning that there was a body in there. They have a night watch trainer every night. That person didn't hear any splashing or screaming or, I mean, I just find that really suspicious.
It's fucking crazy.
One of the employees, I don't know if it was a physical therapist or somebody, was coming in the morning, and there was Tilikum, you know, with a dead naked guy on his back, kind of parading him around the back pool. The public relations spin on this was that he was kind of a drifter and died of hypothermia, but the medical examiner reports were
hiding a
graphic.
death, man.
For example, Tilikum stripped him, bit off his genitals. There was bite marks all over his body.
Now, whether that was post-death or pre-death, I don't know, but
I doubt that Tilikum knew that he was undressing the guy, biting his dick off. It's just fucking, you know,
yeah, all I
doing what
can
whales
comment
do,
on is
fuck
that
with
the
the
guy
prey.
definitely jumped in the wrong pool. So why keep Tilikum there? This guy, he's proven track record of killing people. He's clearly a liability to the institution. Why keep him around? Well, it's quite simple to answer, and that is that his semen is worth a lot of money.
That's why I'm kept around. No, definitely not.
Over the years, Tilikum has been one of the main breeding whales at SeaWorld. It's brilliant because they can inseminate way more female whales because they can just, you know, get his sperm and freeze it, and then he's basically operating as a sperm bank. In a reputable breeding program, rule number 1 is you certainly would not breed an animal that has shown a history of aggression, towards humans. Imagine if you had a pit bull who had killed, I mean, that animal would have likely been put down, but in the entire SeaWorld collection, it's like 54% of the whales in SeaWorld's collection now have Tilikum genes.
It is, Molly.
The flaw is to assume that all killer whales are like Tilikum. You have to look at their learning history from birth. You have to understand why Tilikum was a hazard to anybody in the water. And you have to understand that none of the other killer whales at SeaWorld or in that system are that way.
What about the incident at Laurel Parque?
First of all, I can't speak with specificity about Laura Park. I wasn't there. In fact, I know very little about it, probably about as much as the general public knows.
Thank you. Oh my fucking god, for the longest time I thought the Canary Islands was just off the UK. Sorry. Just outed myself for being a fucking idiot. Can I have that ball? I'll talk for you. Oh, it's got to go now. You've tuned it up too much. No, cheers for that. I understood everything you said.
Súper romántico. Y por supuesto le dije que sí, que dijo de verdad.
Unfortunately, no subtitles. So what I'm going to say is she was working in SeaWorld, but she was also part of the very famous emo band My Chemical Romance. That is Gerard Way, I'm pretty sure. If I put captions on, is it just going to come up with a Spanish?
Por supuesto.
Oh, brilliant. It lets us know that music is playing. Thank fuck. There's going to be a whole segment. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. Something Angie would enjoy, I'm sure. Should we forward this bit? Because I don't even know what's going on.
Parque, it's in the Canary Islands.
Do you mind knocking the mic? You can't have this ball.
It's the largest tourist attraction.
Shall I show everyone what you've done with this indestructible ball? Yes? This is the bit where the treats used to go in. Yes. And I didn't mind you just destroying it because it was keeping you busy, but now it's got little bits coming off. So see his face, he's desperate for it. You cannot have it. You cannot have it. There are treats and food. You don't need to eat your toys. My God, honestly.
Attraction in all of Spain.
Never mind coming round this way. Now you're going to knock my phone off the bloody thing.
And when SeaWorld sent the orcas to Loro Parque, everybody was always questioning, like, how did they make that leap to send 4 young orcas to a park off the west coast of Africa with trainers who, a lot of them, had never been around orcas
Away
before.
from there. It's absolutely
was
fucking
ready.
not Dad, basically.
The venue wasn't ready. It wasn't ready for the orcas. It wasn't ready for a show. The owner of the park didn't want to lose revenue by shutting down the pools and repairing them. So for 3 years, the animals ate the pools, and for 3
Merlin, it's in the bin, which is up a height. You can't get to it.
years, the animals had problems with their teeth, with their stomachs. So that's the reason why these
Jesus
animals
Christ.
are enduring the endoscope procedures.
Those poor animals. Watch out.
Those are still SeaWorld's animals, and they are responsible for those animals. Loro Parque doesn't have a good reputation. People that work in the business know the reputation of places, and Loro Parque does not have a good reputation. They didn't spend the same amount of time as the SeaWorld trainers, did not go through the same regimen that the SeaWorld trainers went through.
Jesus.
You know, and Alexis really was
This is a mess, this park.
the best trainer. And I did say, I said, you know, you're the only trainer there that can hold its own with a SeaWorld trainer. And I said, you know, but you need to be careful.
Se quejaba de eso, de estar cansado, y yo pues le intentaba quitar un poco de importancia.
I don't know, guys. Sorry.
Ya, pero mi trabajo es físico. ¿Quién te dice que mañana?
I'm assuming something not very good is going to happen to this guy. They're setting it up.
Waiting to happen, but no one ever did anything about it. And in the end, it was the best trainer who lost his life.
Me sonó el teléfono, me habló Miguel Díaz, el supervisor, el jefe de Alex, y me dijo...
El jefe, my friend. I know that means my friend. That's about it.
De la empresa, con sus abogados.
Pudimos hacer nada y...
Something whale bad man trouble. I don't know. I wish I knew the language.
Que algo ahí...
Like when I went to school, you had to learn French or German. Never fucking used it since. I was decent at French. But I just think Spanish is such a more inclusive language. Watch, they won't even be speaking Spanish. I'm just... Will you get off? What are you doing?
No sé, por lo que me dio fue por preguntar qué había pasado, porque yo no podía entender cómo me podían haber dicho que estaba bien y de repente llegar y encontrarme pues así.
Like, it's a beautiful language, but I have no fucking idea what you're saying. Absolutely no idea. Uh-oh. Here we go. Alexis is training at SeaWorld 12 months before his death. Oh, Christ.
Those were SeaWorld's whales. They were trained using SeaWorld's techniques.
And then he
their
brought his
training was
shoddy
being
techniques in.
supervised at the time of the fatal accident by one of their senior trainers from San Diego.
Merlin, why are you choosing violence tonight? What's this? What's this? Come on then. Oh, right.
Get up and say in a court of law.
That's not bad, that's...
They have no knowledge.
Well, it's terrible that you had to do it for that reason, but...
You know, the linkages between SeaWorld and this park in Tenerife is, well, either she doesn't know and is telling the truth, or it's just a bold-faced lie.
You alright? You ran into me, I shit myself.
trainers, we never forget Shamu's true potential. We see it each and every day. That's why all of our interactions are very carefully thought out, especially our waterwork interaction. Whoa!
You big
Especially
dog.
our waterwork interactions because they're potentially the most dangerous.
I've been expecting it since the second person was killed. I've been expecting somebody to be killed by Tilikum. I'm surprised it took as long as it did.
First tonight,
Jesus
a
Christ.
6-ton killer whale has lived up to his name, killing an experienced trainer at SeaWorld Orlando today.
A tourist at an earlier show said the animal seemed agitated.
Trainers complained the whales weren't cooperating.
The whole show, the main show, was a disaster that day.
There was, whales chasing each other, and eventually
So if there was signs, why didn't they just stop the show for that day?
the trainers decided that they had to stop the show because they couldn't get the whales under control.
Tilikum was in the back pool, set up to do a Dine with Shamu performance with Dawn.
Likely she saw what had gone
Oh,
on
boy.
during the main
Leave,
show, and
sit.
so she had probably felt more pressure to do a good show. When you watch the whole video, you can see that Tilikum is actually really with Dawn in the beginning of the video.
Yeah, he's focused on her. Oh, shit.
There's a couple of behaviors that she asks him to do where Tilikum just jumps right in and he does exactly what she asked him to do.
There seemed to be a point in the session where things went south, so to speak, and in my humble opinion, it was at that missed bridge, whistle bridge, on the perimeter peck wave.
She asked him to do a perimeter peck wave where she asked him to basically go all the way around the pool and wave his pectoral flipper.
Damn big though.
And she blows her whistle, which is a bridge, which tells the animal that, okay, you've done a good job, come back and get food. But he missed that cue.
Sit.
And he went all the way
Sit.
around the pool on this perimeter pack wave.
Where's your ball gone?
My interpretation is that he didn't hear the whistle.
So not only did he not hear the bridge, then he went and did a perfect behavior and came back, and what he got was what we call a 3-second neutral response, which is just a way to let the animal know, no, you didn't do the correct thing, you're not going to get rewarded, and then we're going to move on. And then you can also see through the video that Dawn is running out of food.
The animals can sense when you're getting to the bottom of your bucket of fish because they can hear the ice clanging around and the kind of fishy, soupy water at the bottom. And the handfuls of fish that they're getting delivered by the trainer are all getting smaller. So they know that they're coming down to the end of session.
When you see the difference between the beginning of the video and the end of the video, you can see that he's just not quite on his game anymore.
There was no food left. She kept
Why didn't she notice that as well, though?
asking him for more and more behaviors. He wasn't getting reinforced for the behaviors that he was doing correctly. He probably was frustrated toward the end.
Yeah.
Then she walked around the perimeter of G-Pool. He followed her. And then continued over into the rocky ledge area where she laid down with him to do a relationship session, which is, it's quiet time, basically.
Tilikum at some point grabbed a hold of her left forearm and started to drag her and eventually did a barrel roll and pulled her in.
Jesus Christ.
May have started as play or frustration and clearly escalated to be very violent behavior that I think was anything but play. In the end, he basically just completely mutilated that poor girl.
They were gathering all the trainers at the Texas park. He said there's been an accident at the Florida park and a trainer was killed. Hearing that it was Dawn, I couldn't believe it. I just remember saying to myself, not Dawn, it can't be Dawn. He said that, and he still has her. And I just was so disturbed by that and the reality of how powerless we are
avulsion, laceration, abrasion, fractures and associated hemorrhages, blunt force traumas to the main body, to the extremities. To see this meted out against a trainer, and I cannot fathom the reason.
Very traumatic, so very traumatic, but I mean, the whole thing's mental, isn't it? It's crazy that there's still animals like this in captivity.
It's shocking. The lawyer for OSHA asked me what I thought we'd learned. When I'm sitting in the courtroom, and I've got the Kelty Burn case file.
Oh no!
And I've got Don Brancheau.
It's an enrichment thing. You're supposed to work at getting the treats out yourself, not come to me and ask.
Nothing.
In
fact, it's not a damn thing. We have not learned a damn.
It's like an enrichment toy, and when he can't get the treats out, he brings it over, like, gives a hand. It's not the point.
Damn thing for something like that to happen 20 years apart.
Did you tell if it was an accident or if this...
Did this female trainer work with this whale on a regular basis?
I don't know. What apparently happens, we had a female trainer back in the whale holding area. She apparently slipped or fell into the tank and was fatally injured by one of the whales.
At first, SeaWorld reported that a trainer slipped and fell in the water and was drowned. So that was the first report.
It wasn't until eyewitness accounts disputed that they had to go back in their huddle and say, wait a minute, we got to come up with a new plan.
New tonight, SeaWorld has confirmed the killer whale pulled the woman into the water. She didn't fall into the tank as the sheriff's department initially reported.
The new plan is that he grabbed her ponytail. This is a subtle way of placing the blame on Dawn's shoulders.
Yeah, saying it was her fault. She should have known better. I knew there was a lot about
shouldn't have had a long ponytail, or if she did have that ponytail, it should have been up in a bun.
Dawn, if she was standing here with me right now, would tell you that it was her. That was her mistake in allowing that to happen.
They blamed her.
If she was standing here now, which she can't because she's dead, she would say it was her fault.
How dare you? How
Fucking hell.
Disrespectful for you to blame her when she's not even
That's terrible,
alive
isn't it?
to defend
Isn't
herself.
it?
He grabbed her ponytail
Isn't
and
it
pulled her into
terrible?
the water. That's as simple as it
Yes.
gets.
There are photographs of plenty of other trainers doing exactly the same thing that she was doing.
It's fucking
so,
nuts.
so I knew that SeaWorld was lying about the fact that this was her fault.
The ponytail, in all likelihood, is just a tail. The safety spotter, who apparently didn't actually see the takedown, came up with that.
Now, during the spotter's testimony, OSHA pushed him to say that he wasn't really sure that it was her ponytail that was in the whale's mouth, that he just saw her underwater and he assumed it was the ponytail. OSHA contends that the whale came up and grabbed Don Brancheau's arm, saying that that was another level of aggressiveness. And again, SeaWorld is saying it was not an aggressive move. One of SeaWorld's top curators, Chuck Tompkins, said when Don Brancheau was pulled off that ledge, it wasn't necessarily aggressive behavior by the whale.
The initial grab was not an act of aggression. This is not a crazed animal.
The industry has a vested interest in spinning these so that the animals continue to appear like cuddly teddy bears that are
Yeah, so they can sell them and keep them there. He is, isn't he, Sarah?
completely safe. You know, that sells a lot of Shamu dolls. It sells a lot of tickets at the gate, and that's the storyline that they're going to continue to stick with for as long as they can.
Expert witness. So this guy, I wonder how much money he was paid. He must have had a backhand payment.
That
Must have.
Those that say this is a crazed animal that acted out and grabbed Dawn maliciously, they want to prove the theorem that captivity makes animals crazy. And that is just false.
All whales in captivity have a bad life. They're all emotionally destroyed. They're all psychologically traumatized.
No, did you get it?
So they are
Did you get your
ticking
treat?
time bombs. It's
Good.
not just Tilikum.
We have
don't
to
wanna take your
separate
treat,
what
you
happened to Dawn, and as tragic as it is, no one wants to ever see it happen again. Can SeaWorld create an environment where it never happens again? Yes, I absolutely believe they can.
What the fuck is he?
What if there were no SeaWorlds? I can't imagine a society with the value we put in marine mammals if those parks didn't exist.
I'm not at all interested in having my daughter, who is 3.5, grow up thinking that it's normalized to have these intelligent, highly evolved animals in concrete pools. I don't want her to think that's how we treat the kin that we find ourselves around on this planet. I think it's atrocious.
This hearing is expected to last all week, with OSHA continuing to work toward this theory that SeaWorld knew there was a calculated risk of injury or death, but put trainers in the water with the whales anyway, while SeaWorld will say that Don Brancheau's death was an isolated incident. Reporting live in Seminole County, Dave McDaniel, West 2 News.
No. Where's your ball gone now? Sit.
There's something wrong, you know, with Tilikum, that there's something wrong, and that's when you have a relationship with the animal and you understand that he's killing not to be a savage. He's not killing because he's just crazy. He's not killing because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's killing because he's frustrated and he's got aggravations and he doesn't know how to, he has no outlet for it.
And boredom. Boredom definitely plays a part. Sit.
Now, Tilikum is spending a great deal of time by himself and basically floating lifeless in a pool.
3 hours now.
Poor thing.
He hasn't moved.
Depressed. I know. Did you hear when I said earlier on as well, must forget, that they don't have fins like that in the wild? You only see the arching fins when they're in captivity.
They try to sugarcoat it by saying he comes out in the front pool every once in a while. Now he's doing shows. You know what he does in a show? He does a few bows, and then he goes back into his little jail cell. That's his life.
Fucking horrible.
I feel sad for Tilikum. A regal thing like him swimming around the tank with his fin flopped over like that, you know, compared to a wild bull killer whale that size, you know, which is one of the most kinetic and dynamic things you can imagine. I feel sad when I see him.
I mean, I don't know whether he's still there now. How Shazza were nearly finished.
It's time to stop the shows. It's time to stop forcing these
Melon,
animals to
come
perform
here.
in basically a circus environment. And they should release the animals that are young enough and healthy enough to be released. And the animals like Tilikum, who are old and sick and have put in 25 years in the industry, should be released to an open ocean pen so they can live out their lives and just experience the natural rhythms of the ocean.
This is a
Sorry, this dog just cracks me up. He just goes around causing trouble.
multi-billion-dollar corporation that makes its money through the exploitation of orcas.
They're not suitable to have in captivity.
The whales are really bored. You deprive them
Looks like they've spoken out before this documentary as well, the traders.
of all this environmental stimulation.
I think that in 50 years, we'll look back and go, my God, what a barbarian.
Yeah, it's a rough one, Shazza mind. Thank you. No, I think there was experiments where they took the whale back to where their original pod was, and they did okay. They like survived for like so many years, and then they died basically. But oh no, it was pretty bad. They went and they released them where their old pod was, but the whale was rejected by the pod, so the whale was often found swimming on its own, which isn't natural for a whale. And then eventually they found it passed away. There was a test about it.
Barbaric time.
Oh Christ, Molly. What you doing? That can't be good. What have you got hold of? Come walking over here like you're a good boy. I saw you attacking the lightsaber. Sit. That's what I thought. Look at these poor whales, Merlin.
Dawn Brancheau, DB, dream big.
Dawn was the most loving, giving person you ever met. Her smile just radiated. She fulfilled her life.
Fulfilled her life. She fucking died early by being attacked by a whale, and then they framed that it was her fault. Yeah, well, that makes sense as well, Miss Baguette. It's like when I talked to people when I was rehoming rabbits, and they were like, are they friendly? Are they nice to pick up? And I'm like, it's a fucking rabbit. Like, no, that's not natural for them. Like, things that pick rabbits up are eating them. Like, like people are tapped. Shazza, that was in this documentary at the start. It might have been in others as well, man. It's horrible. Yes, hence why Merlin's chewing me. Where did you get that? I mean, I'm not annoyed. It's one of the boys, so if you got it out of their bedroom, they've left their bedroom door open, so there's a lesson. It's a Minecraft plush. I don't know what it is. Can I have a look? Leave? Whatever this character is from Minecraft. It's a collectible. It won't be a collectible. Go ahead.
We saw whales swimming in straight lines with straight dorsal fins. I was so honored to be there. And I was so thankful that I had sunglasses on because the tears were kind of coming out and it was moving.
I'm not a crier, but I get close to it, like. What a documentary, guys. What a documentary. It's an emotional one for sure. Now, tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll be doing some sort of reaction here on Twitch at 7 o'clock. Something TikTok related. I'm not exactly sure what yet. But it'll be something TikTok related. Usually I'm reacting to clips that people tag me in, but you never know. You never know what I might be reacting to. It might be something else. I'm not going to confirm on this one because I don't know how I'm going to play something yet. Leave that. Leave it. A boop. And whoosh. Right, okay, I'm going to fuck off. Thanks for the support as always. Everyone who reached out to me today as well, you're amazing. Thank you, I really appreciate it. And remember, you say shit like that about, ow, you little dick. I wasn't watching, it wasn't his fault. I was going like that with my hand to get his toy and he bit me. He looked terrible. He was like, oh, sorry, I feel bad. Yeah, you see shit like that, just report it. Do you know what I mean? Just report it. Don't worry about me. I know a lot of you reach out and stuff, but the first few messages I got back to, I was like, you know, I'm okay. Right, I'm going to fuck off. Cheers for chilling with me this evening. Hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday, and I will catch you later. Yeah, peace, guys. Bye.